Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with a craft with me. I watched another video over by Heather at Ruby and Pearl where she made these really beautiful little envelope folio things, very different from anything that I've ever seen. However, I did also see Jules over at Jules Designs JT Creations create something similar, but this is my prototype that I did last night. I did not cut this down at all. I just left it the width of the paper that I was using. But let me just show you with what I did on the inside of it. I'm not very good at these wrap things, so I might have to rethink that. But so when you open it up, it's like this. So this is wallpaper from Ruby and Pearl, and then this is some of her French ephemera, also from Ruby and Pearl. I just created a little card here from one of her kits, and then this is some paper that I did where I did some color embossing, and so I thought that would make a nice little tuck. And then I added this chiffon ribbon on the pockets, and then here's another card. So that's kind of the idea. I'm going to do these ones a little bit differently. So I'm trying to figure out how this is supposed to go. I don't use those kinds of closures generally speaking, so we will see. I also forgot though, before I turn the camera on, that I need some paper. Oh, there it is. We'll just use what we've got here. It's got some coffee dye on the back, but that's okay, because we want to make some templates, or a template, to create this scalloped edge. In fact, maybe I'll use the one I already created. Let me see if I can find it in my pile of stuff here. I have been working in the studio all morning here, just trying to get some things done. I got really behind this week. So yeah, so this is the one. This is one of them, and then this is another one that I did. So we won't need to necessarily make any more because this is going to be sufficient. But that will make more sense here as we go along. I would encourage you to hop over to Ruby and Pearl and check out her envelopes because they were amazing. Her style cannot be, I mean, it can be replicated, but we're all different, right? And she definitely has her own really unique way of being really loose and free and scrappy with her stuff, which I really have fallen in love with. So we're going to be making one using, sorry, let me get some of this stuff out of the way, using her paper. So this is a piece of her tea-stained lace paper. That's going to be the outside of our pocket, or our little envelope thing, pouch. And this is one of her digitals, French digitals. So we're going to be doing that. I've got some ephemera, some stuff for pockets and such. So, and then I've got one that is in line with, well, where'd my other brad go? Those things always fall on the floor and then you never find them. This is the brad for the closure on this one. This is going to be done for the Autumn Garden Journal. So I'm going to do this one second. So I'm just going to set that aside really quick. And we're going to start with this one. So basically what she said is, and I had to watch the video again because I wanted to really do my best to have it be, well, you know what? I'm going to back up because I already created my template, and I created it I didn't follow her exactly, I guess is what I'm saying, which is fine. I don't have to follow her. So basically what you do is you're just going to play around with some paper shapes, edge shapes here, and create kind of a scalloped edge. You can create however many different designs you want. However, when she did it, she actually took her paper and she cut it in half, and then she folded it this way. So she didn't get as wide of a shape here, but I've already done this, and I'm going to go ahead and use what I've already done. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll put it on this side just so I can see it better, and I'm just going to line this up here, and it's almost the same width. Let me grab my ruler though to make sure that's not too wide. Just a moment. because this might be too wide. Whoops. Nope, it's going to be fine. 8 inches, because this is going to go, it can go slide in portrait direction. Goodness gracious, I'm stumbling all over myself. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm just basically going to line it up to the top, and I'm just going to leave the same amount on either side of that edge as best I can. Now this paper is cut crooked because I needed to cut around the original digital, or the original image lines in the digital. So that's what we're going to do. Let me find a pencil here. I thought I was completely ready, but where's my pencil? There it is, buried. Whoops, and there the ruler went on the floor. So I'm just going to trace around this like so, and then we're going to cut it out. There we go. Just going to erase any pencil lines I might have left over. Don't want those to show. Okay. So again, when Heather did it over at Ruby and Pearl, hers were much narrower. Mine are not. Now I could obviously cut this down if I wanted to, but I'm going to go with this one the way it is. So this isn't for a particular journal. I suppose I could use it in the Autumn Garden Journal as well. We'll see. So I'm going to start with inking this all the way around, inside and out, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so that inking is done. I will also, just since I'm thinking about it, I will make sure that I link both Ruby and Pearl video, as well as Jewel over at Jewel Designs JT Creations. So basically this is again the inside, so we're going to fold it. I want to decide how far down I want my fold to go. I think about that. So roughly, my ruler fell on the floor, so oh my goodness, what a scene. So this is just over 2 inches, so 2 1/4 perhaps, which is fine with me. So I'm just going to try to line that up even, and then go ahead and crease that across like so. Perfect. And then in order to have this lay flat, you can go ahead and fold again. So I'm going to go a little bit further with this. So it's a little bit hard to do without a scoreboard. In fact, I'm going to get the scoreboard out because I really fussed with that on my prototype, and we may as well just do it right here, because I am working on 65-pound paper, so it is much harder to score than other paper. So the tricky part is that that edge is not even, so we can't really, I'm going to have to go by my original score line and make sure that that is all lined up, and then go with the next one over. Hope that makes sense. I'm trying to get friendly with my scoreboard. I don't score very well. So there we go. There's one score line, and then there's the second score line. I'll show you how big that ends up being here in a second. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, so that's about perfect. So you do have to kind of work on training it a little bit, just to have it be flexible. Perfect. My other one was a little bit, my gusset was a little bit big. So we've done that. So now we know that that's going to fold down. So now we need to decide how far up we want this to be. So I think I'm going to go about, let's see, about right there. So I'm again going to crease that. I don't feel the need to score that, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it here in my scoreboard, lining up that. That's pretty darn straight, so we're going to go ahead and go 1 over, so 1/8 of an inch. Little score line gusset dealio. And then we should be good with that for now. So let's go ahead and work on training this one. So that one's pretty good because that's the one I creased with my fingers. And then here's the second score line. I don't know what weight of paper Heather was using, but this is what I prefer. I like the sturdier paper. Boy, I'm having a hard time with this one. Goodness gracious. There we go. There we go. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. We've got a nice little gusset there. So now, determining, I think I want this one to go this way and open up like this. So the second thing I wanted to do is create a couple of pockets. I think that Ruby, when she did Ruby, I keep calling her Ruby, Heather, is she had, her paper must have been longer or something. I'm not sure what is different, but she actually had two sections like this on the inside and an additional flap, which means her paper must have been longer or something. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. I'm not copying her. I'm just using her creativity as my guide. So I have this embossed paper that I made myself with a 3D embossing folder, and then I ran my Vintage Photo Archival ink over the top of it. I need to trim this down though, but I don't really want it to be completely straight. So I'm wondering if I can tear it with my tear ruler. So give me just a quick second, guys. I'm hoping that this is not going to be a problem. So I don't want the pockets to be very deep. So I'm just going to kind of go like that and hopefully get a decent tear. Oh, that's perfect. If I tear that by hand, what it tends to happen is it wants to tear into some of the embossing and makes a very, very uneven tear, which is not a problem, but it's not what I want in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm lining this edge up with the inside gusset line here. And so I'm going to mark with my pencil the inside gusset line on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and give that a trim. I'm going to grab my little trimmer up here and find my mark. I'm going to turn that over so that I can get it straight, because I definitely have a straight edge there. Oh goodness, where'd my line go? Oh, it's there. Duh. I'm looking for the line on the straight edge. It's not on the straight edge. There we go. So there is that. So that is one, and that's going to go here. So we're going to go ahead and ink that up. Oh, I love that edge. Look at that. Scrumptious yumminess. Love it. So that's going to go there, and then I wonder, this piece is not going to be long enough, so let's go ahead and do one more. I'll use that for something, I'm sure. So we're going to, I want to keep it approximately the same height though, so I'm going to try to keep that in view here in terms of just doing that, and then I can start my tear and get it pretty much the same. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to get it straight with my ruler here. So let's go like that. There we go. Awesome. Easy peasy. So let's bring this back over. And so let's see. Yeah, I feel okay about that. So now we're going to again mark this, and I'm looking at the gusset line, the outside gusset line on this part. I don't know if you guys can see that when I bend it. I can see it. I didn't want to ink it. I didn't want this to be heavily inked on all those lines like I did on my prototype, because I think that actually looks kind of strange. But you know, you do you, whatever you like, do that. So I think I'm just gonna do that and just pencil that down all the way. Cut it with my scissors, save a little bit of time. There we go. Let's ink this up. Perfect. Okay, so what I noticed that Ruby did is she just glued it on the bottom. Now she was working with a lighter paper, and so she did end up putting a little bit of glue on this side and leaving this side open. I'm going to glue it just on the bottom because I think that mine's going to hold. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac just because it is convenient, and I'm just going to do that and get that pocket on there. Hope this was the right one. Not paying much attention here. Is it? Yeah. There we go. So let's just let that set for a moment. And then we're going to do this one as well. Again, just along the bottom. We can always tack it with a little bit more glue if it feels like it needs a little bit more support. So we're going to put that on here. So see, Ruby, oh my goodness. Train the brain, Cara-Renee. Goodness gracious. Heather, she, again, she had, this is crooked. I'm going to move that down and I'm going to cut it off. She had another flap. So I'm going to have to go back and watch her video again because I'm curious about that. So I'm going to just trim this off really quick and I'm going to round that corner. Didn't account for that. Just okay. Just have a good time, you guys. Don't worry about it. There we go. So that's that. Yeah, much better. So again, perfection is not at play. It doesn't matter. So then what I did is I created these pieces. Well, I didn't create them. I just printed some stuff out. I backed it with coffee dyed paper, or printed on the back. So I forgot to ink the back of this one. And I roughed up the edges. And let me just show you how I did that on a scrap piece of paper. Let me grab one of these. So basically what I do is I just take a piece of paper and I just use my fingernail and I just kind of rough that up and wrinkle it like that. Can you see that? And then when you ink it, look at what happens. It's epic. I love it. So that's what I did with this. And I also used my distress tool, which is this little Tim Holtz one. So that's going to go in there. I'm not going to shove it in too far because I don't want it to get stuck with that glue. So it's going to be fine because this is all going to be folded up. So I have some other bits here that I also made off camera just to save time. So I'm going to slide this picture in. This is the same deal. Did I ink the back? Yeah, I did. I made it distressed. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Let's stick that in there. And then we've got this one with the little bear and a little bit of my coffee dyed eyelet trim, and that's going to go in here. And then we've got another little one. These are just those scrappy little additions to a project. So basically just scraps, complete scraps. And I just layered it up and picked a focal image similar to what I do in other projects. So let's stick that in there. So there you have your little folder. I am definitely curious how she got 3 flaps though. And I actually watched the video again this morning and I still didn't catch that. So I'm grabbing my little foam mat so that we can go ahead and put our eyelet in here, which probably would be easier to do that. In fact, let's just take this stuff out for a bit here. And we're going to go ahead and make our hole for our eyelet. But first we need to make some circles. And I was wondering if this would, well, I don't think that really goes with the front. So I have this piece of paper here that's just coffee dyed. Oh, I don't like that though. What are we going to do? Let's see if I've got something darker here that might suit me better. No. Boy, oh boy, I was not prepared, apparently. I don't have any thicker paper here in my grasp. Oh, there's some heavier coffee dyed. You know what? Let's go ahead and try this just for the heck of it. So I've got my little hole punch out here. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. It's kind of thick, but let's try it. We're going to get that in there. Give it a punch. Ooh. Pretty tough, but I think that's going to be okay. Better than that other paper. It does seem a little wasteful to use this paper that way, but I don't know if I need 2. I doubled the other ones up because I was not using as thick of paper, but oh, now we're stuck. Come on. Come on out. Come on out. There we go. But I'm thinking this is pretty strong. But I want to be sure, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 together. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac and glue those 2 together, and then we'll ink around it, and then we'll poke a hole in it and put our little brad in. So we'll be good. We'll give this a second to set though, because we don't want to mess with that too much while it's super wet, so don't need the other side inked. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. I wonder if we can do this safely. Let's go ahead and go for it. I'm just going to put this down, and I'm just guesstimating. I don't really, again, perfection is not what is important to me. So I'm just going to put it about there. I'm going to use my pokey tool, and I'm going to just try to poke in the center of that and just get it all the way through my pad, my foam, and there we go. And so we've got this brad here, which is a little bit interesting, so I'm hoping that it's going to work, but I love that. Look at that little design there. Focus. It's not going to focus. That's okay. I'm going to put it through here and then see if we can get it. Oh, not too bad. Get it through here as well. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love it. Now, the other thing is that you can go ahead and put one on here just to cover that up, which I think I will. I'm going to cut one more circle, and just because I want to cover up that brad. So there we go. Tough paper though, goodness gracious. Ink that up and go like that. And I am using the Fabri-Tac just because this paper is very textured, and I want to make sure that it's going to hold really well. So there we go. Just a way to cover up that brad. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab some. Well, I need some string here. I actually used this one in my other project, but I'm thinking I'm going to see if I've got some embroidery floss that I can get to. Everything is buried here, you guys. I'm telling you, my desk looks like a bomb went off. But we've got some other stuff here. So I'm wondering if we could use this embroidery floss. I think that's what Heather, but see how it separates though? Whatever she was using did not do that. So I'm not sure. She had, it was DMC, but it was on a roll, which I've never really quite seen before. So I'm going to go ahead and use this twine bit that's got some gold speckles in it. There we go. And again, I'm not an expert at this, so that whole wrapping thing, I don't use that kind of a closure, just because I've never really tried it. So just getting all of our pieces back in. Super cute. This is definitely going to go in the Autumn Garden journal. I think both of these little pocket things. Oh, look at that, beautiful. I don't like this edge that we've got that's really quite sticking out, so I'm going to go ahead and just trim that off. Not a big deal, and I'm just going to re-ink that. I like that better. Yeah, just a little bit of ink just across the top, not trying to follow those gusset lines, but like that. So let's get our string, and I think you just wrap it around like that a bit so that it's kind of caught in there like that, and then you just go like that, wrap it around the folio or whatever it is that you're using, and then wrap it a few times. So I love that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. And there is our first one. That was super fun and super easy. So let's do our second one. I didn't do quite as much prep on this, so we're gonna work together to figure it out. And I'm wondering if I want to cut this one down and make it a little bit smaller just to be different. So I'm just going to set those bits aside. And let's grab one of the other templates here. I've got this one. And so I'm thinking what I'd like to do is, I want to keep this white because I'm bringing in some white embossed paper, and I really want to pull that out of the design, but I have a problem. I have to bring the big cutter out because my little cutter won't cut as big of a piece of paper. So I've got the big precision cutter here. I just keep it on a little shelf that's right below my desk, so it works out pretty nifty. So I'm just going to cut off just a little bit, not measuring really, just about that much. I want to still see all those flowers, but isn't that gorgeous? I just love these digitals. Now this is a digital from Liana Scraps. I'm using 3 different kits in the Autumn Garden Journal. So there is that, and now we need to do something with this edge because it's way too straight. And then this one as well. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up as well, and I'll be right back. There we go. So one of the reasons why I just adore this kit is I love the watercolor. I mean, that is definitely watercolor, and I just love that look. Oh, I need to do some watercolor. It's very good for my soul. So what's going to happen here though? Oh, you know what? If we make this the cover, it's going to be okay. I was thinking it was going to be upside down, but it's not. So we're going to go ahead and use this as our top, and I'm going to pull over that that pattern again. I need to turn it over so that I can see though. So again, similar to the other one, I'm going to try to line it up edge to edge, trying to just estimate. I'm not worried about it being perfect. I'm going to go all the way to the top here and see if I can do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and trace my shape. It's a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm going to use my small fussy cut scissors. It's a lot easier to get around those curves. So Heather was very, very, very careful with her cutting, which is great, especially if you're teaching someone how to do something that they've never done before. But I don't worry about that so much as just being free and having fun. And I mean, it was super helpful because she was really encouraging people to practice the cutting technique in terms of just playing around with shapes until you had some that you wanted to actually use for your project. So that was super helpful, but I love that. This is a little strange right here. That's got to go. Weird. It's okay. Ink this again. Should have probably done all that before I inked. That shape is very strange at the top. I need to take care of this. It's a little bit weird. That's a little bit better. They're going to be different because our shape is different, like the way that we cut around this image. So that is that. So now we're going to do the same. We're going to go ahead and fold this over, and I want to get that vase, most of that vase that's in the digital here. So I'm just going to fold that there, like so. And I'm not entirely, on this one, I'm not going to make the gussets. I'm going to just see how that goes this time. So, and I'm going to fold this pretty high up because I want to, yeah, that's okay. This is a little bit further over than I did in the last one, but that's all right. There's no rules, right? Oh, I love that. Look at that. Ah. Okay, so this one, let's go ahead and do our little brad first before we move on. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple of circles here. What shall we use? Oh, we could use that scrap. Where did it go? I don't think it's big enough though. It's not wide enough for my punch here. No, it's not. Just trying it. Yeah, it's not quite big enough, so we don't want to do that. We could probably use this though and not have it be too strange. So let's go ahead and, oh, or maybe that side. What do you think? I think this side is better. So I'm going to cut 3 of these. Like so. And we're going to glue the 2 together just like we did before. I almost like that. Yeah, let's go with this. We're going to glue this side together. doesn't matter what the back side looks like because we're not going to see it. This just is a little bit more stable. And you could always just stamp some script or something on that if you wanted to make it look a little bit better. But it's all right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put this down. And I'm going to put this right here. Not even here. Oh, it's already set. That's okay. Just ink it up some more. Ink disguises a multitude of sins. Sometimes. There we go. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love this. So fun. So I've got my pokey tool and I'm going to just aim for the center. Again, not looking for perfection. I'm trying to not hit my glass though. I've got a glass mat here. It's not a craft one. You can't cut on it, but it is completely glass and it is a miracle to clean. It's just so, I can get anything on it, paint, mediums, and I just wipe it off and it's epic. So this is the brad I picked for this. It's just a little pearl kind of thing, and it's got just kind of a pinkish color in it. I thought would be fun to bring out in this project. So that's beautiful. So let's go ahead and open up those little feet. And there we go. So I think it's okay like that. We're going to go ahead and put this on as well. You know what? That's not going to, let's see if we can turn this to the side. It's barely big enough. And it's a struggle because I've got that dimension on the other side, but it's going to be fine. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac and go ahead and glue that on as well, just to cover up those feet. There we go. Kind of looks weird, doesn't it? That's okay. Could have done something different there for sure, but this is okay. No harm, no foul. That's what I say. So we've got the same thing going on here. We're going to put a couple of pockets here at the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing. We're only going to glue on the bottom. I think that worked out fine with the other one. I'm just going to drop that right there. Make sure that we're not infringing on those folds, which looks pretty good. So there's that. So let's get one more ready here. And I should have left that one. Oh, I can use, yeah. I need to cut this edge off so that I can get a straighter measurement here, that white edge. So we're going to put that up there and do the same thing. Just going to try to tear this evenly-ish. I will try to link the video where we did that embossed paper. It's pretty epic. This one's a little bit taller, so we're going to have to kind of trim off this edge at the bottom. It's okay. There we go. See where that goes. So let's measure this up. I'm going to have to round that a little bit because we don't want that to be weird. So we're going to go ahead and cut it here all the way down. And then we'll glue it on and we'll trim it off. We'll trim off anything that needs to be rounded. Sticky scissors here. Okay. Go ahead and ink this up as well. Again, I'm looking for the embossed. So the debossed is down, the texture is down, and the embossed is up. which you can see on the top of the leaves. Such fun paper to make. In the future, I probably would put something over this, but for now, we're just going to go with it and be happy. So what I have here is I have some pieces that I don't really have to do much with. This one just needs to be inked. I think I want to round the corners here. So we're going to go ahead and see how much we need in these pockets here. So I feel like this one needs to go there, and then I think this one needs to come over here, because I also have this larger one that's from the kit, but it's too tall. But I was debating on which end I wanted to cut off. So I think I'm going to cut off the bottom just by a little bit. I'm just going to do that off camera here really quick, out of view rather. There we go. I think I want to round the corners on this as well and ink it. My stomach is growling. It's lunchtime. I am off work today. Today is October the 31st. And so I'm just catching up in the studio. That looks, oh, it almost is too tall. So let me cut just a smidge more off. I don't want it sticking out. So it's okay to have to correct things, you guys. Always a fix. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love that image. And then we've got a card and a tag. So I thought we'd put this in, but we need a little bit of something on the top. So I'm just going to reach for my little drawer of the tinier scraps and see if we can find something that would go good on there. It'd be nice to have something that's kind of brings out some of the other colors. I feel like that's a little bit too crazy. Everything's falling on the floor. Oh, how about a little bit of this gold, since we're going to be using that gold thread twine to close it. And I love this this finished edge, so I'm going to accentuate that by using it and kind of go like that, make a pull on it. Yeah, let's do it. Of course, you could go as simple or as elaborate on these as you choose. I am choosing to not go too crazy. I'm trying to have a mentality that sometimes less is more. And it's a lot more freeing to just not worry about, you know, everything being just so-so, or, you know, the way you normally do it and all that business. Grabbing a paper towel to kind of be able to press that down like that. Perfect. So I think we need something on the top of this too. Let me grab a bling here. There, just right behind me. Hopefully I can find one that will fit. I don't want anything too flowery. Oh, that gold would be beautiful though. Actually, nope. Let's go with, I think I have another one of these other wings open already. I don't want to open another one. So I think I'd like to bring in this blacker color just for a little bit of contrast. And I don't trust that adhesive, so I'm going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac. We're going to wrap our twine and then we will be done. So simple, simple, simple tag. I'm not going to put that in the pocket right now because this is probably wet. So I'm going to go ahead and take these, well, I'll leave those in. I also had this one, but I think I'm just going to not use it. So we have enough in this. So let's get our string again. I'm going to use the same string just because it's what I have. I may switch that out once I find something that is going to fit this journal more. I'm in the very beginning stages of this journal. So again, I'm going to wrap it around just to kind of lock that in place. And can we put that in? Doesn't feel tacky. Let's go ahead and do it. So there we go. There's our little pockets. So cool. And we're going to close this baby up and we're going to wrap her. There we go. I think we have to stop here. Cut off the excess. Let's pull these both into view. Actually, I'll pull all three so you guys can see them. So this was the prototype, which I gotta cut that string off. Goodness gracious. This is the prototype, and then these are the two that we did on camera. So thank you guys so much for coming by. I hope that it was helpful. You could also make these however narrow you wanted them to be. Again, I'm going to go back and watch Heather's video because I want to figure out how she got, maybe this was smaller and then all of her other folds were smaller. I'm not sure. Again, it doesn't matter. That's inspiration. We don't have to do things the same. It's a beautiful thing to gather inspiration from other people. I do work very hard at giving credit where credit is due though. So if I did not think up the idea, I'm going to let you know where I saw it because I do a lot of inspired videos and there's nothing wrong with that, but the credit needs to go to the person that you saw it on. That's my belief system anyway. I think it's honest and it's just a really good thing. So thank you guys so much for coming by. Take care. See you later.